Time's up. Let's do this.
Hello everybody, I am Babael and welcome to Crash Guides for Strife, where you learn everything you need to know in the shortest time possible so they can jump straight into the action. Today we are going to feature Ace, this egoistic, narcissistic, self-praising, exaggerating, handsome, cool personality with a Colgate smile is the axe-wielding blue beast on the battlefield. This hero with a highly arguable fashion sense has 4 skills at his disposal. The first skill is known as Spinsicle. It's like a huge spinner from Icicles. He activates to deal area damage around himself. This skill deals at maximum level 200 magic damage to enemies around you, and no, unfortunately it is not spammable. The second skill is known as Avalanche. An avalanche is basically a jump across half the screen, deals damage and slows enemy in the affected area. You target position, and upon landing, enemies take some magic damage with 50% tapering slow, and that's a lot. In other words, this is also the skill that you will use to jump to your death. The third skill is known as Frostbite, but you will not be biting anybody. This skill slows and damages your attackers, kind of like a huge detriment for them to not engage you. And upon activation, the skill spawns 4 shards, which reduce incoming damage, and every time someone hits you with spell or attack, they take some small damage and 20% slow. The fourth and final skill is also known as the ultimate skill. It's called Ace in the Hole. He will be chopping people's head, and effectively this is a close range burst skill that deals an insane wholesome amount of damage. If you successfully chop off your opponent's head, you will get 25% free health and mana regenerated instantaneously. So that would be what I call a successful kill. Moving on, this is how you're gonna add your skills in this order. First off, in the first level, you're gonna add 1 level into Avalanche, and 2 and 3, you're gonna add those into Spinsicle. The 4th level, you're gonna add 1 point into Frostbite, and at level 5 back to Spinsicle, and level 6 Ace in the Hole. Now, if you do play other MOBA games, you would understand that this is known as the pre-level 6 strategy of 3-1-1. And after that, you will also add as much points as possible into Spinsicle, following which Avalanche, and then Frostbite, and in a particular order. At the same time, you also add, if possible, any points into Ace in the Hole whenever it is available. That said, we'll now go on to the next part in this guide, and this guide really is just going to be talking about items and itemization as well. So there are 2 real ways to play Ace. The first way, we're going to call it the burst build. The burst build really focuses on going in and dealing good damage. The second way, we're going to call it the tank build. So the burst build first. In the burst build, like the name suggests, your job is just to jump in, deal damage, and kill. Your survival is not really guaranteed. It's not always going to happen all the time. So starting item is very simple. You're going to have 1 health potion, 1 healing rod. Healing rod is an item that gives you charges over time, and once you consume them, it will give you back some health as well as mana. And in the core items, we have power boots. We also have crystalline shift, and last but not least, we also got Foul Blade as well as the Everwinter Charm. The first 3 items, as you can see on the screen here, gives you power, which also translates to more damage. The power boots also gives you 65 movement speed. It's not a lot, but it's still slightly better than no boots at all. So that's the good thing about the power boots there. The Everwinter Charm really is the item that just synchronizes so well with Ace. It gives 100 damage AoE, as well as the fact that it also slows your opponent once you trigger the effect there. And also it stacks well with Avalanche, so we see good synergy there, and that's why we recommend it. For late item, it really is a huge focus on power there. We got Power Conduit, which essentially just gives you even more power and kills assist there. It restores 20% of your mana over 5 seconds. It's a lot. We also got Grimoire. Grimoire gives you even more power, and spells now ignore 35% magic armor. That's a lot. And the only item that really gives you some form of tank survivability kind of a build is the Immortal Gaze, and that gives you also 1.5% of your max health per second regeneration while out of combat. So that's this would be the recommendation for burst build. You go in, you kill, and that's it. No guarantee that you will survive at the end of the day. The second build is a little bit more inclined with the general way Ace is being played, and that's the tank build. Starting items are still the same. The core items this time is very different. We're going for the Dampening Cloak, which really just gives you magic armor. It also increases your health by 135, which is quite a fair bit. The Rune Boots, which really just gives regeneration. And also we are looking at Elder Stone. Elder Stone gives you even more tanky attribute elements inside. We've covered Everwinter Charm, it's the same thing. And for the late items, it's a little bit different. The Ice Forge Plate allows enemy to get slowed once they attack you, in terms of the attack speed there. And also, it gives you some increased chances at surviving. We got the Hexbane. Hexbane is just Hex. It changes your opponent into a small little target puppet there you can really play around with, so fun. And also we got the Infernal Brand. Infernal Brand is like an ever active spinning damage kind of a thing, except it doesn't spin, but it creates an aura around you. So this gives you some armor, which is fantastic, magic armor as well, and it also gives you 30 magic damage per second to enemies in a 500 radius. So can you imagine your job is now to jump in with Infernal Brand already activated. You also will be able to do some damage with Spinsicle, and then you chop someone's head off and you still live to tell the tale. That is the job of the tank build. Huge in terms of engagement, huge in terms of initiation, and this is the real way to play Ace. The fun way would be the first way, which is the burst build. The tech way is more like the competitive way of playing. So with that said, we hope we have equipped you with enough knowledge to go into Strife and play Ace right now. So we hope you guys enjoy this guide. More Crash Guides gonna happen. Do drop your comments and thoughts below in the comment section as to which are some of the heroes you want to see coming up next, and we'll be glad to bring them to you. That said, hope you guys enjoy and had fun at the Trials of Strife.